You know when grown-ups tell you everything's going to be fine, and you think they're probably lying to make you feel better?
Yes.
Everything's going to be fine.
Ah, we all saw it coming. Hello everyone! My name is Strax and welcome back to World of Defend Your Own Base, because no one else is going to do it. Today, we have Dagold Risk again playing in his Object 268, Soviet Tier 10 tank destroyer coming from the ISU line. Now why are you seeing so many of Dagold's Risk replays? Well, 1, he plays a lot of World of Tanks, 2, he has consistently good games, and he sends them in. Me on the other hand, I suck at tanks, so shh, deal with it. Now, Dagold Risk doesn't really like his Object 268 because, well, and he's not the only one, a lot of people feel that the 268 is only a small upgrade over the Stefano 4. And why is that? Well, you still get 750 alpha, your DPM only goes up by a little bit, but you do gain a little bit of accuracy, aim time, your dispersion is actually worse, but your tank is a bit faster as well. Now here's the next problem. The 704 is one big flat very angled tank with spaced armor to the sides. The 268 is based on the T10 hull, which is not that great, but its superstructure is quite well angled, armored, everything, but you do have weak spots. The hull is very bad. You cannot angle it, which you can't anyway, because you know you're a TD, you have a limited gun traverse. But you have cupolas on top. It has a lot of weak spots compared to, for example, the 263, its counterpart TD. Now why is this information important? Maybe it isn't, I don't know. But you cannot get this tank hull down properly because it still has cupolas. And that's where the weak spot is on this tank. It has weak spots everywhere. And that's a problem because in this replay, we're going to rely on our camo rating, hull downness, and our alpha damage. And we are going to have to, I say we, Dagold Risk is going to have to defend his cap today. Because the enemy are at the gates. See what I did there? Which is, coincidentally, a pretty good movie. Enemy at the Gates was the movie that got me interested in the whole massive world war we had a couple of years ago. Where Russia and America and Germany and all the rest of Europe and Australia and Japan and maybe China somewhere and more of Russia were fighting with each other. It came down to, I don't agree with you, you don't agree with me, let's have a big old fight and throw people at each other until someone decides to give up. Isn't that every single war in a nutshell? I like to believe so. Just like in World of Tanks, we throw tanks at each other until someone decides to give up and drowns themselves. Artillery! I just realized I've made a massive mistake because this was already too political for the YouTube comment section. Now we're going to have to go in there and burn it all down. So before you all start rage typing in the comment section, I'm going to distract you all with kittens, dogs, and bunnies. Here you go. But yeah, Enemy at the Gates. Enemy at the Gates is basically the story of Vasily Zaitsev's trying to defend Stalingrad from the scary old fat Germans trying to invade their country with their Bratwurst and Panzer tanks. But the Germans were all like, no, we don't like the enemy team having a scary sniper, we're going to send our very own scary sniper. And his name is Major Koenig, which translates to Major King. This guy has the name to win. How can you lose with the name Major King? But one of them does lose, because it's a movie with the good guy versus the bad guy. So, unless the movie is written and directed and whatever the hoodle by George R.R. Martin, we can expect Vasily Zaitsev to win. Unless this is Game of Thrones, where don't attach to any of the characters. So why did I enjoy Enemy at the Gates? Well, it doesn't only show just massive battles, scary sniping scenes and all that good stuff. It also shows the view that the Russians had, not really the view, the life that the Russians had in the war. If you think of a war movie, you think of Shaving Private Ryan, don't you? That's, you know, it's a good movie, but it doesn't show like the real hardship that you have to go through in a war. That the Russian, like in this movie, you can see that the Russians are constantly just barely surviving and fighting for their country. Have you all stopped rage typing in the comment section yet? If not, have some more cats, kittens, dogs, rabbits, things. So what's Dagold doing right now? Well, Dagold has finally started his actual defense of the cap circle because his team, well, they didn't do really well. The enemy has taken the village, town, city, that's the one. And we've got a lot of tanks camping in the back, but this includes artillery, the E50, Simon and the E100, Waffenberg E100 it is. And there's an AMX 1375 in the enemy base, hopefully trying to kill something. The artillery is already dead, I don't know what he's doing there. You can't cap because everyone's fast enough to come back. It's not that big of a map. So, what happens now? Easy. You pull back. You get into a dug-in position and hope for the enemy to come in one by one, because that's all they can do right now. The AMX 1375 is dead, and we've still got Simon, the E50 and RT just camping in the back, hoping that the enemy is stupid enough to actually come in one by one. Because what can you do in this situation? You cannot go out as a group, because they have a lot of scary heavy tanks with a lot of health and big guns. Yes, you are TD, yes, you are Waffenträger, but if the Waffenträger is reloading, you're 50 seconds of what? Then there's the RT. The RT has 50 seconds of no. So then it comes down to the E50, sorry, and the 268, and they don't have the DPM to kill anything fast enough before they can get surrounded by big scary heavy tanks. In other news that happened this week, or actually this week, I say actually before Tuesday, because I'm recording this somewhere in the future, which is now the past. Oh my god, this is confusing. Leonardo DiCaprio has won an Oscar, which is not surprising, because it was bound to happen one day. You know, as long as you keep throwing shit at the wall, it's eventually gonna stick. Haha, Jingles quote. Sort of, at least I think. I probably ruined it somewhere, because I'm not actually English, I just say things. And anything World of Tanks related is that the 9.14 patch is probably going to be released maybe somewhere around the 8th of March. So if there's any replay you want to rewatch and relive good old memories, then it's now the time, because after 8th of March it's not going to happen again, because they're all broken again. So what does 9.14 actually bring to the game? Well, new sounds and new physics. And I really hope new sounds, because I was playing a Clan Wars game not too long ago, and it was not a Clan Wars game, it was a Stronghold game. A Stronghold attack. And they threw down a bomber run. And this is what it sounded, because the sound broke. Is it annoying yet? Because it sure was for me to have to listen to that for the whole rest of the game. Oh, that was annoying. Anyway, you know what I just realized? They're going to implement new sounds, which is nice. You can download a mod yourself. Oh god, there went the artillery. You can download a mod yourself and do whatever the hell you want with the sound, no big deal. But the physics is something you cannot change. And, they're not going to be as big as a physics change as 8.0 in a World of Tanks far, far away and a long time ago. Nice ammo rack, Dagold. But the point is, they're still going to be changed. And the main change is now that you can handbrake turn, at least they say handbrake turn. It looks or resembles a handbrake turn in a heavy, medium and light tank. Now, if you do one by accident now, it's like, oh yes, look at this handbrake turn, it was amazing, look at it, rub your face in it, oh yes. But that's going to get boring. Everyone is going to do handbrake turns around corners just for fun if they're not in a direct, combat. So, what we're probably going to see is handbrake turns, and as you slide, you shoot and you kill someone. It's going to be great. It's going to be amazing for the first month. YouTube is going to be filled with those moments. Even M4 had one already in one of his previous videos as an intro. But that's going to get boring after at least 2 months. You know why? Because everyone's doing it. It's going to be part of the game. It's not going to be like the 8.0 patch where you could fall off cliffs and rock climb in your tank. You can mountain goat. That has become boring. That has become mainstream. Oh, I fell down a cliff. Ooh, hey, look at me. In 8.0 it was like, oh my god, I can fall off the bridge. Yes! It's all going to get boring now. The handbrake turn, if you do it in a light tank, it's great now. You power steer into it, you try to stay controlled, you slide around the corner, and then come out of it as you try. Everyone's going to do that sooner or later with the new physics changes. And around patch 9.15, everyone would have already forgotten that handbrake turns weren't possible in the previous patches. This is the point where I say patch 9.15 and then Wargaming does decide, oh no, we're going to do patch 10.0 again, we're gonna give it a new try. Nah, Wargaming won't do that, will they? Right? I don't know. Anyways, speaking of patch 9.14, they also announced that they will, as I mentioned in the last video, buff the FE4202P, and the buffs have been made public. They're not great, if I'm truly honest. I was expecting a speed limit buff to at least 40 kilometers an hour. But the speed stays 35 kilometers an hour, which makes it the slowest medium tank ever in the game forever and always, which is a stupid decision. Just make it 40 kilometers an hour, at least, Let me get somewhere in time. It's not a T95 a turret and a medium tank. But the gun will be pretty good, if I'm completely honest. 2.2 second aim time. 0.316 accuracy, terrain resistance has been buffed so it gets up to that top speed faster. which is still the slowest of any tier 8 medium. Ever, forever and always. We're not talking like AMX 40 type of deal here, because that's a lower tier tank which is completely lied about. And now everyone hates it and everyone knows about it, but the FE4202P was supposed to be it is the first tier 8 British premium tank. There have been the A45, which was bad. There is the Cromwell B, which is a really good premium tank for the British, but it's not like high tier or anything. The FE4202P is the very first premium British tank. It's bad. Really bad. Makes me sad. And you might be thinking now like,
oh, you shouldn't complain, you at least got the FE4202P and I didn't, because 1, I didn't have this in Action 10, or 2, I didn't actually have time to grind.
Yes, I am happy I did get it. And if that is your actual voice, I feel so sorry for you, but that's kind of hilarious. But I am happy I did get it. I'm just disappointed that the top speed is 35 kilometers an hour. Because, yes, it might be faster than the Super Pershing, but the Super Pershing has armor to make up the speed. The FE4202, it has really angled armor on its hull, but it's not reliable. And its turret is huge. So if you somehow manage to miss that, you are a GG. It's just weird to give a medium tank at tier 8 35 kilometers an hour top speed. It's like they're wargaming, they're all like, so it's a medium tank, right? It's British. Yeah. Don't the British think tea? Yes, they do. Alright, so what if, listen to this, we say that they were drinking tea inside the tank so they can't go any faster. That makes no sense. It's not like the British were drinking tea in combat, right?
At least I hope so.
I know they have a tea machine on board their tank. A tea machine, just a machine to make tea in case of boredom, but I don't think they were drinking tea in mid of combat. Aiming at a target, and all I can't fire drinking tea.
Sorry, old chaps, I cannot fire the gun right now. I'm taking a sip of my jolly good tea.
Would that be a thing in the British Army? Pretty sure it is. But only in the FE4202P, because the Cromwell makes no jokes. The Cromwell is a fast tank. The Comet is a fast-ish tank. The Centurion Action 10 now is a fast tank. But the FE4202P, nope. And the 268 is a relatively fast tank. And we have finally left our own base. It is time to attack the lone T-57 Heavy in the enemy base after he killed the E-50. And the E-50 had enough, he went out, he died, he played good, GG to him. But now, it is time to finally take the battle to the enemy. And what did I say in the beginning? We have to hope that the enemy makes the mistake of going in one by one by one, which is basically what they did. They went in one by one by one. I think the idea behind it was that I'll go in front, I'll spot them for you, and you fire at them. Didn't really work out for them, now did it? What's that other quote that Jingles uses quite a lot? Don't interrupt the enemy when they're making a mistake? Is that the one? I think that's the one. And that's basically what they did. They camped in the back, like beaches, and expected the enemy to go in. One by one by one. And they didn't stop them. Because why would you? You're not gonna like type, yo, you stupid, you're pushing together. No, you're not gonna do that. You're gonna hope to win the game. And that's exactly what they have done. Also, totally no pressure on this shot, Dagold. If you miss this, you might actually lose it because you'll get spotted and then he will fire at you and you don't have the greatest armor.